Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It's great to be back. It's great to speak to you again. It has been too long. Lockdown has just thrown up lots of extra things, so we're getting slowly through this season, and been chomping at the bit to speak to you about this one. So, I mean, where do you want to start today?
Well, I think
I know we've not spoken about this. I know exactly where you want to start. It's Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, isn't
it? Dave, now, we did have tears in this, and I'm very aware of the road it could be going down with good old George, but he decides that his everlasting love is with Sophie. But the things he's done to that girl over their relationship, and we don't know the half of it. We're only getting snippets. I don't think there's anything Sophie's done wrong. We could be wrong. I don't see that. And all right, she did kiss Mason, but I do think she's justified. And you know you're on a hiding to nothing when the fucking presenter stroke mentor Emily Attack is giving him shit, basically. Like she dropped a proper bit of shade on him about something he'd done, about his attitude and that at the start of the episode. And they meet up and he demands to meet Sophie. She's had enough. She's with Mason now. They got on 5 dates. They did have a kiss. Normally I'd be like, oh, it's poor form, that, whatever. With this guy, there's no poor form. He's like, I'll go missing for days. I'll tell her I'm going to meet her somewhere, and half an hour later, I'll be texting her, go, sorry, I'm out with the boys, when she's all dolled up. He's got no respect for the fucking girl. And finally, the girl, Sophie, has got a set and gone, you know what? Fuck you. I'm worth more than that. I'm off. He is just completely, as far as we can see, and what we've been told in this narrative, he has completely treated her like shit. And I just say, Dave, I was all for, I'm there, Emily Pankhurst, suffragette, you go, fucking girl. Don't let no man bring you down. I'm well for what she was doing, and I totally agree.
What are you doing fucking about with your boom arm there? Are you punching the air or something?
Yeah, I did. I punched the air. I did. I was all for Sophie. I swear to God, I punched it and not the boom arm. Apologies, anyone listening. But I'm sorry, Dave. I was in the moment. George is an absolute grade A clown, and he does not deserve that girl at all.
Right, so I'm going to take up a slightly different stance. So I hear what you're saying, and that does look like what's happened. And he's been a bit of a twat, but it's not nice to watch someone have that epiphany and that realization. You know what, Chris? There was a great line. I think, was it? Which Temptation Island was it? It was one of the seasons, one or two. And I think it was the second one, actually, and the ginger guy again. He was very blasé, like George. He wasn't arsed, and he even said to one of the girls who he was in the house with that if they broke up, he wouldn't care. And brilliant. That is exactly the clip that got showed to his girlfriend, and then she had her head turned, and then she was gone. She was off. And he was pouring his heart out. And the presenter said, sometimes the lessons that we learn, we take into the next relationship. And so I think it's almost getting a little bit boring. Since about episode 3 or 4, I think it's been obvious it's going to go this way, that, you know, Sophie will kind of realize her own worth, and then George will realize he's fucked it. In fact, I've got in my notes here, George, you've fucked it. And the only question is he going to realize it? Is he going to realize that he has fucked it, it's gone, and, you know, try and make the best out of the rest of this experience? Or is he just going to, you know, go into sad sack mode and kind of sort of do the old Joey from Friends, you know, all up against the window singing all by myself.
All by myself, yeah. The fake rain, yeah, that thing. Yeah. I do. The one thing I'd say, Dave, is it's great that he did see for himself and said, she wants, you know, she doesn't want a boy. I've been very immature. I need to grow up. However, actions speak louder than words, Dave. this guy has had no respect for her whatsoever. And at the end of the day, there's not many times where you're going to agree. And I know they're supposed to be split up because that's why in different apartments and stuff. And I get that. They're not actually supposed to be together per se. But I do agree with her decision. He is not a good guy. But Dave, I did say this a couple episodes ago, as much as I'm having a bit of a pop at him and that, and it's like he can't see his behaviour. He's completely selfish. He's obviously cheated on her. You do not, like you said, you do not share a fucking bed. As the great Mr. Horrocks would say, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck. It's a fucking duck. And that guy, I'm sorry, has absolutely done the business on her plenty of times. And she's just gone, I ain't having it. But Dave, I don't want to see the guy go down the road of having some sort of breakdown at all. If he's getting that bad, I think he needs to remove himself. So I did have I genuinely did have a feeling of guilt, thinking, you know what, I don't want to see, if that was my kid or whatever, I wouldn't want to see him in that, that way or feeling like that. However, he then starts going. He starts playing the emotional blackmail on her, and then he's spinning the story to his flatmates. And I'm like, but it didn't really go down like that, George, did it? You cock, So it's like take the loss. I think he always thought he would split up with her and she would split up with him.
Yeah.
And she's got the power now, and he doesn't like it. I think it's more that than it is actually wanting to be with her.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, but I mean, it's not quite what I say, Chris, because outside of
Go
the
on, say it. I
cartoons,
told you.
there aren't many talking ducks.
I told you to get it wrong. Go on, Dave. What are you
If
saying?
it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck,
That's it. Yeah.
not
Well,
talks like
Chris is new on his talk, Dave. So don't steal your line. That's your classic line. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, so the thing is, that you can see that connection's growing with Mason as well, can't you? And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
stole a cheeky little kiss there, but she was discussing with the flatmates beforehand. It's the fifth date, and so she's thinking about kissing him. So I think whether she'd have shut the door on George without Mason being there, I don't know, because it's not like she's been dating loads of people. She's been on 5 bloody dates now. So whatever the reason, I think her head's gone. That's it. She's off. George is a
Yeah.
closed door for her. But I mean, next, Chris, what do you make to Elliot and Mitch? Because they were walking down the canal. They seem to be getting closer and closer all the time. I think Mitch is kind of getting a bit nervous now that he's going to get pied off. Which way do you think that's going to go?
I think Elliot's really into Mitch. And then if you look at the flip side with Charlie, Charlie's now regretting it, isn't he? He's regretting the kiss. He's regretting the fact that he was thinking of Elliot, pretty much the whole time. Obviously, it's a 5-year relationship,
Yeah.
I know that they said it's a trust issues and things like that, but there was love there. There was genuine love between them two guys. And it's like, seeing Mitch and Elliot is nice, but also knowing that Charlie and I think that's what's interesting is I think some of the couples who've come in, the ones who you think have sort of got in there thinking, well, we're single, they seem to be the ones pulling back, a la like what Georgie's doing now, and even we'll talk about Jeremiah and Selling as well. I'm not sure, Dave. I think it might be Mitch who cools it off, like you said about the pieing off thing. It could be Mitch and Elliot may be left stranded slightly. So, and we do get a preview for episode 8, where Elliot steams in there on Charlie's. It looks like his birthday, dude, doesn't it, or something? So that looks quite interesting.
Interesting choice of words. I'm not sure he steams in there. He seems to bring him a birthday cake. He's not wading in there, kicking the door down, going, "What the fuck's going on?"
It sounds more dramatic than probably what it was, Dave.
I mean, it seemed like a sweet moment. It's obviously Charlie's birthday, and he doesn't want to miss out on it. But again, I tell you what, Chris, it still irks me a little bit. I'm still saying that Temptation Island has got this bit better. They should not be allowed to see each other. No circumstances at all.
No,
I mean,
I agree.
ultimately, the thing with George and Sophie, he just had a bit of a moan and wanted to see her. Well, it shouldn't be that bloody easy. That's the whole point of the game. So, yeah, I don't really like that. The fact that they just have to have a quick word and then they can see their other halves. It's supposed to really test them. But yeah, I mean, Charlie did seem to regret that kiss with Ethan a bit. But then when he saw him at the party later, he did ask him for a second date. So again, not not too sure which way that one's going to go, but definitely, the preview for the next episode seems to imply, there's still definitely feelings there between those two.
Yeah, without a doubt, and it'd be unusual if there wasn't, Dave, after 5 years together. I think just wait and see. Hopefully, they both end up happy, whether they're with each other or they're with somebody else. I do agree. I must admit, Dave, watching this show, and I know everybody pretty much copies the original. The guy I've come down with me with the voiceovers, and then Sterling, obviously with Love Island. This guy's not been too bad. But then he did throw in the line about selling when she sat there. Elliot's talking to him and he's trying to speak. And I thought she was very rude selling because Elliot said, spewing his guts, trying to explain to him what's happened on his date with Mitch and stuff. And she's like, I'm not going on that date. I'm not going. And it's like, you're being fucking rude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're being absolutely rude. And in the end, Elliot shuts up just by basically because she was being rude to him. And she gets up and he's going, and I must admit, he's going, she's not going on that date, but she's getting ready for the date. She's not going on. And she was just like, what, in the pity party sympathy, wasn't she? And I was
She
like,
was
oh, come on.
she was having a bit of a meltdown, wasn't she? She was
Yeah,
getting all stressed about it, and it comes out in a negative way. I mean, it was fucking rude. Let's face it. Let's call it out as it is. But I think she was just really stressed about getting
yeah.
ready, and I don't know. I guess if you haven't been on a date for like 7 years, you kind of would be, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and the guy she went on the date with, it was great bit of a connection between them. He was right up her street. She said he was her type. He was all right, but he was a bit overconfident, Dave. I thought the date was going really well until the end. He went, well, you're definitely going to want another date with me, aren't you? And then just starts dropping lines on her, and I'm like, come on, if you're trying to win a girl over, well, I mean, there's not many girls going to like that sort of arrogance about him.
I don't know, because I mean Nat. So switching across, he's the same, isn't he? He sort of
Yeah,
he I don't get it because I can't remember. Is it Ellis, the girl who he keeps talking to?
yeah, Ellis, yeah,
Nat, he's from your part of the world, isn't he? He just keeps coming out with these stupid fucking lines, and he's just being a cock. But she's not sort of picking up on it at all. I haven't written down any specific line, but I just think he's just a bit arrogant and a bit of a tool, if I'm honest. And I just think,
yeah.
he just comes across really badly for me. And I don't know, some of the things that just resonate with me really in a negative way. But she seems to not be bothered by it and get on with it. So I don't know, Chris, do girls like it or not? Just put it out there, be confident.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with being confident, man. Or there's nothing wrong with that, Dave. You believe in yourself. There's plenty of people can knock you down in life. We all know that. We both know that. If you're told a narrative about how you are as a person, you pretty much, if you start listening, you're going to believe it. That's you, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I have nothing wrong with being confident. I really don't. It took me years to feel, feel completely confident, even though maybe been a singer in a band and loving the center of attention, Dave. You've always got them inner demons. But with Nat, it was the comment, and I think you're right, it was the comment he said to Ellis about, and I'm trying to work the numbers out. I think, well, he's come with Megan. They've been in a relationship for a few years, but he's going, well, he just, I'm sort of like sick of going round and, my girl, then sleeping with her friends or my friends' friends or the lads all swapping girls and that. And I'm thinking, you've just come out of a relationship and you're outing yourself as an out and out cheat. And you're right, Ellis did not pick up on that at all. And I was
Yeah.
thinking, wow, what an arrogant thing to say. Especially we split up for 2 seconds because she was talking to some lad, which I don't condone at all because sexting can be as bad as cheating as well because you're
Yeah.
emotionally available to
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
else. There's no excuse for that. However, he did go and sleep with this other girl in like record peak time. Even Arthur Fronzarelli couldn't get a fucking girl that quick, Dave. You know what I mean? See, obviously, I said it before, he obviously had someone lined up. So I don't know. I just kept thinking, wow, you are very, very arrogant. And even when he come back and fucking George is there crying his eyes out. And he went, she don't want me anymore. He went, well, you have to get out there, won't you? Start being George, get out there. And I'm thinking, wow. I mean, it was classic TV, but it was just like, no compassion. Fuck her off. Go and get someone else, mate. What's your problem? And it's like, you've obviously it might be a defense mechanism for him, but he literally just didn't give a shit. And I was pissing myself like, wow, Mr. Confident there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I mean,
good TV.
I think I said it last episode, but I'm sorry, but Nat has definitely been out there before. He just got
Yeah,
found out that once, so
yeah.
it's just obvious the way he is. So yeah, I mean, that couple, to be honest, for me, has got no chance because we did our predictions at the top, didn't they? Which you wrote down on a piece of paper, I think, which you've probably fucking thrown away now, I imagine. Um, have to listen to our own damn episode to find out what we predicted. But
Good old
anyway,
Chris and his reliability.
I mean, so Claudia went on a date with Bailey. They went up on this events in the sky, had a bit of champers up there as well. So I mean, honestly, Chris, I don't know what it is about this guy, but it is shit-eating grin and just basically agreeing with everything that Claudia says.
Yeah,
Just makes him
yeah.
come across as quite disingenuous to me, but she seemed to be enjoying it.
But well, his line about she had a nice arse went down like a fucking lead balloon, didn't it? Like we were eating. He told her he was scared of heights, and he went, "You got a great arse," and she just looked at him and was like, "Right, yeah, you got a great." Then he toned it down and went, "You got a great bum," and she was still having none of it. And then he's like, "Can I have a kiss?" No, not really.
Yeah,
It's just
I'm not
like,
thinking there'll be a follow-up to this one.
no, I don't think so. I do want to touch on. I know we talked about selling on a date, but I do want to sort of call out Jeremiah again because we know with Temptation Island, and this is obviously a fucking cheapo version of Temptation Island by a long stretch. And even when they were on the before I talked about Jeremiah, they said what were they doing? They were doing some dating. Sam went because we were decorating and we had it on as we're decorating. And Sam went, what the fuck are they going? Whenever they were supposed to be going on a date in London, I went, yeah. I don't get that at all. Whatever they were supposed to be doing was just like proper on a budget.
Yeah,
But Jeremiah has copped off with a girl. All right, it wasn't like an absolute thrusting, passionate kiss, but he did snog a girl. He's gone on a couple of dates, and then I still don't get. I kept thinking about myself, thinking, is it in the human psyche that do as I say, not as I do? So he can basically. I know when he's cooled off on some of the dates, he has. You can see that there's a level of regret there, and hopefully, like you said, he might be having his come to Jesus moment where he's like, oh fucking, I've been horrible. But he openly admits when he goes on his date that he has not been faithful. He went, there's been trust issues here, but I've not been a great boyfriend. And it's like, well, she doesn't trust you because you obviously have done stuff. They're not going into details of it, but there's no smoke without fire. So I'm like, well, selling is obviously an emotional wreck. She doesn't feel anything. And then when Sophie had the chat with George and she said a line and straight away Selling went, that's what Jeremiah says to me. He's told her, he's got that in her head. It's something about worth or something. It was some comment and George said it and she was like, that's what he does, puts me down. And I'm thinking,
right.
but you can't you can have a remorse, and hopefully they might get back together by the end of this series. But surely, I kept thinking, you've the one who's instigated a kiss and gone out and really wanted to make a move on some of these girls. She's found out, and you're not happy she's doing the same. Then she had no intention of cheating on him or getting with somebody, and she hasn't kissed anybody yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've gone a bit long-winded in thinking there, but I just sort of think, well, you've been a bit of a hypocrite, to be honest. You reap what you sow.
So he is, and you started that off by saying, is it in the human psyche? I don't know if it's in everyone, but I think there's something in that because you see it in all of these different programs, don't you? These
Mm,
different dating reality TV shows, and basically they're fine to go off and do what they want to do, but then when the tables are turned, they really don't like it, and it's like, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, I think the phrase is.
yeah.
So, but having it put in your face like that, I guess, just it struck a chord with Jeremiah, hasn't it? Because he was not happy when it flashed up on the TV that she was out on a date, and um, he was basically saying, if she kisses him, that's it, they're done. So, yeah, I think he started off like a house on fire, didn't he? Going straight in there quite early for the kiss with the blue Smurf. But then since then, he has pumped the brakes a bit. And so, again,
Yeah.
I still think the problem is with this, Chris, I don't know how much has really evolved since like episode 3? I think that the first couple of episodes, you're sort of gauging who people are. And then we've made some predictions about, well, where could this go? And I think George and Jeremiah in particular, they've kind of carried on a projection, on a trajectory that they started a few episodes ago. So there's not really anything thrown in there that's changed them. So I'm hoping something changes quite soon. Because again, if we go back to Love Island, because you're getting so many people in and these relationships and these challenges, they really kind of test them, and then the dynamics between the people change. I'm just finding it a little bit stale, if I'm honest.
You know what, Dave? I'm glad you said that. And I'm not just sitting there going, yeah, I'm agreeing with whatever you say. I think you're right. I think Sam said the same thing when she overheard him say, like, this is the fifth date that Mason and Sophie have been on.
Yeah,
And we called out to what's on, and I was especially adamant the fact that we needed a few more episodes because there was a lot of stuff we just didn't see on this experiment. And hopefully next time they may, if not double, they may give us about 3 or 4 extra episodes to flesh out the characters, give us a bit. There was nothing. We didn't see half the stuff that went on there, and it was a Love Island format, but it just didn't hit towards the end. It became quite, like you say, it became quite boring, and it was just like, well, what was the point of it? Because we know that Francesca and Harry just fucking did whatever they wanted, and they still come away with a bit of cash in the pocket. So it was a weird show. With this is runs for 15 episodes, and we're not even halfway through yet, and
yeah,
already I'm thinking, fuck me, we've got another 8 episodes of the same stuff. Dave, I'm with you completely. I honestly think what needs to happen now is they need to shake it up and just boot a couple of them out and bring some new people in. And I wouldn't mind seeing, this is purely from reality stuff. I know it's real life. I know that. But when you see Sophie going on 5 dates with someone and then
yeah,
kissing with Mason, she should then leave, I think, and leave George in and say, yeah, we're going to make a go of it. Like we're not boyfriend
yeah,
and girlfriend.
yeah.
Just something. Or I still think there's something there between Jeremiah and Sophie. I think he's got a bit of a thing for Sophie.
Jeremiah's got a fucking thing for everyone. But I tell you what,
Well,
did you
yeah.
notice George's comment when Selling came out all dolled up?
Yeah, I would.
I would. Yeah, he fucking got over Sophie for that brief moment, didn't he? Fucking
Yeah,
keep it in your
yeah.
pants, son.
Well, I'm not being funny, Dave, but she definitely gets the outfits of this show have been unbelievable. Sam said that to me, and that's not me being a pervert. Sam was like, "Fucking, how does she wear any clothes? She's always got underwear on." She knows what you said it a few episodes, but she knows what her best assets are. Let's just say that.
Yeah, the big guns were out again.
Yeah,
I've never seen the big guns put away, to be honest. But yeah, yeah. What can you say about it?
the double barrel shotgun, Dave. Let's just say that. Yeah. But I do think, joking aside, I think you are right. This wasn't reviewed very well, and it's not going to put me off because I'm going to watch it.
So, Chris, any predictions for the next episode? Apart from, we see Elliot's going to bring in a cake for Charlie by the looks of it.
Well, he's not steaming in there, Dave, as you did mention. Nothing really. I think if we do get another episode of George and Sophie, Selling and Jeremiah, as we've just said, it may just come to the point where I'm like, I think you just need to go. They need to shake it up. There's got to be some twist in this series. Halfway through, something's got to give somewhere because we've not seen a lot. Rob wasn't in it in this episode a lot. Megan was in it a little bit on a date. We need to see something. Something's got to happen, I think, to keep it watchable more than anything.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think so as well. I mean, we're going to see the whole series through, obviously, but I just want a few more twists and turns. I want a bit more drama, Chris.
Yeah. I'm with you. That's what I mean. We need something, Dave. We need something to happen.
Yeah,
Definitely. But anyway, that's what it's about, Dave. Reality TV's now it's our bread and butter, Mr. Horrocks, and I love it.
I know. With our Cdrealitycast.
And nobody's going to know some of the stuff I've sent over to you, Dave. And I'm like, Dave, what about this? You
Yeah.
hate me a little bit more every time I send them messages, because I'm like,
Oh, I'll tell you what, Rachel keeps coming up with them. So she keeps messaging. Sorry, Lucy, not Rachel. thinking of Friends. There's a couple I think that we could move on to next, isn't there? There's what was it?
Make or break.
Make or Break. So that's another one that it's already out there. It's on Prime now. But this one that she's just sent through, it's basically like The Bachelorette. Only The Bachelorette is looking for a sperm donor, basically. So she wants a baby. She's 41, wants a baby in quick fire time, and then all the contestants have got to prove that they'd make the best donor, shall we say, Chris?
The best shot.
So I think see if we can
Dave.
slam a hole in one.
Dave, that has got to be the show next. Unbelievable.
That sounds just up our street, doesn't it? It's fucking trashy as fuck.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's more relatable because it's the same age. She's the same age as us as well, Dave. So he'd be like, "Oh my god, who are the guys they're going to have lined up? We've got to get on it, Dave. I think I'm going to have to."
I'm pretty sure they'll be a bit younger and look moisturised better than us. But
we're like a pair of flip flops, aren't we, Dave? At the moment.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. Right, Chris, it's been wonderful to talk to you. We'll record again soon and we'll get the next episode out.
Let's do it. All right, guys, take care.